Good morning. Welcome to Up to the Minute. I'm Todd Duplantis. It is Monday, October the 16th. Good to have you with us. We're live at the HCCTV studios this morning. And my co-host every Monday, Dr. Nicholas Cox from the history department. And Nick, I don't know if you've been outside yet this morning, but it's quite pleasant. But here's a factoid for you. Do you know how long ago it was when we had weather this cool?
Oh gosh, you put me on the spot. It feels like it would have been years and years and years ago.
It seems like years, but March 20th, we had cool weather. We haven't seen weather like this in nearly 7 months, but I'm sure we all remember the heat wave over the summer. That it's good to have that behind us at least.
Yeah, that's right. The heat wave finally broke, and for a lot of us, we had a really great eclipse experience on Saturday, right? Did you get to see any of
Yeah.
the eclipse?
Yeah, I had a chance to, well, I didn't, of course, look up at it, but I had a chance to experience it. I went to the Renaissance Festival this past weekend. So that was actually pretty cool to see an eclipse while you're at the Renaissance Festival. It was a nice experience.
Excellent. I was up at Baylor University for a conference on Friday and Saturday, and everybody stopped the conference proceedings just to walk outside and look at the shadows, look through their little pinhole papers and
Yeah.
their glasses. It was fun.
It was nice. Nice weekend. Weather this week looks great. Of course, it'd be better today if the Astros win, but that's a whole different subject here. We want to thank everyone watching us on Facebook Live and YouTube. We're here just about every morning, Mondays through Fridays, when HCC is in session. We're live at 10 a.m., but Nick, they can catch us in social media anytime and on our cable channel.
That's right, Todd. We are live on the Houston Community College District's Facebook page. We're also on YouTube. We are on X, formerly known as Twitter, LinkedIn, and HCCTV at noon, 5, and 10 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Okay, Nick, you're going to be with a guest in just a few moments, but I want to introduce a guest we have coming up very shortly. Sarah Gish is artist and creator of Ignite Your Life. She's our Mental Health Monday guest. Sarah, always good to see you. Welcome to the show.
Good to see you. I'm happy to be here, and I agree with y'all. I'm happy the weather is better.
The weather just kind of changes everything. Everybody's happy because we got some cool weather here. But we're going to be talking about an important subject: how pets can actually help your mental health. Sarah, you got some tips and things. We'll be talking with you in about 10 minutes.
Thank you.
All right, Nick, you've got a special guest as well. I'm going to let you take it away for our opening segment.
Thank you, Todd. Welcome back to the show. This is Laura Ayres, the Faculty Academy Director and also a faculty member in the Anthropology Department. It's great to have you back, Laura.
Great to be back. I always love being here.
I think the last time we saw you was discussing either reading cultures or Faculty Academy. But today we'd like to talk to you about the upcoming faculty conference on Friday.
That's
what
right.
exactly is this?
This is the 11th Annual Faculty Awards and Student Engagement Innovation Symposium. So it's a conference put on by Teaching and Learning Innovation, all of the coordinated units, which includes the Center for Teaching and Learning Excellence, Centers for Learning Innovation, and all three academies: Instructional Leaders, Adjunct, and of course, Faculty Academy.
So the Faculty Academy that you direct will have a really sort of central role in this symposium on Friday. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. I'm interested in knowing what kind of workshops faculty might participate in. But when you say that this is a faculty development resource that is by faculty for faculty, what does that mean?
All of our presenters are HCC faculty. So it's a celebration of all HCC full-time and part-time faculty and the work they've done over the past academic year. So we have longer sessions, we have short sessions, and we also have roundtable discussions, all led by different HCC faculty on topics they think are relevant to all instructors.
Now, I know that faculty often participate in professional development that is brought to us by external providers, education experts, reformers, people from outside the HCC system. Why is it that faculty-led faculty professional development can often be a much more attractive or beneficial for our faculty?
I think it's always nice to have somebody that's coming from the same experience as you. When we go to these broader conferences like anthropology or history, a lot of our peers are working in very different environments. They might be talking more about research labs, or they might be talking more about university students. which will have similarities, but aren't our students a lot of the time, or there's, not quite the same thing. And so hearing from my HCC peers, regardless of what discipline they're in, I always feel a greater connection to kind of what they're talking about, and I can really translate it to my own teaching.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate that, because as I mentioned to Todd a moment ago, I went to Baylor this Friday and Saturday for a conference on teaching history in Texas. And it involved public schools and private schools, and it involved 2-year schools and 4-year schools. It involves schools like ours that have dual credit and schools that do not. Very different students, very different teaching campuses, very different workloads. And so I think this is a great opportunity on Friday for our faculty to hear from our faculty. So what is the theme this year?
Well, this is our first in-person symposium since 2019. So on that theme, our theme is cultivating connections, ready, set, grow. So we're focused on suggested practices for cultivating connections between faculty peers, but also faculty to students, and then students to students. So trying to think about how we can make those connections in an online classroom, on an on-campus classroom, or even in a completely online, remote, asynchronous classroom.
Well, even though we teach a lot of online classes asynchronously or synchronously, how excited are you that this is back in person again?
I am. I think a lot of us have some webinar fatigue, and I'm like, this is it. This is where I can, see people and touch a book and touch paper, and it's going to be amazing. And
this Friday, it's at the West Loop campus. Is that correct?
That is. It'll start at 8 a.m. and it'll end at 1:30 p.m. After our award ceremony.
All right. So attendees are going to have an opportunity to meet, make connections, cultivate those connections, participate in all these faculty-led professional development workshops. But I also understand faculty might be receiving some stuff. Tell us about that.
So everyone that attends, that registers and attends, is going to get a copy of The Art of Gathering by Priya Parker to continue learning on this theme of how to make the most of our meetings. But also everyone that attends is going to get some swag, and we'll of course be presenting awards to faculty who have completed certified courses, technology certifications such as podcasting, digital storycasting, lightboard, 3D printing, as well as we have awards for faculty who have had continuous engagement in professional development through HCC academies in the past academic year.
Now, earlier I asked you about the Faculty Academy contributions and roundtable discussions that you guys might be bringing. I know that there's a much larger range of offerings from other academies like Leadership Academy and Adjunct Academy, but what will the Faculty Academy be doing on Friday? What kind of workshops do we have to look forward to?
Well, a lot of the Faculty Academy will be attending workshops by other faculty that we maybe don't get to see as often. But one of the things that we're particularly contributing to is the roundtables. So a lot of faculty, both from Faculty Academy and otherwise, have some conversation starters. So we can brainstorm around topics like, how do you do student-led teaching? How do you assess yourself as an instructor? How do you get through a sticky situation in the classroom? But also we want to showcase and highlight some co-curricular initiatives for students like reading culture, Center for Civic Engagement, Back to the Future, service learning, etc. So it's going to be a real nice chance to have some kind of informal conversation and brainstorming and collaboration. So it's not just sitting and listening, but also really, interacting and connecting with your peers.
Now, all of us, part-time and full-time instructors or leadership, are usually teaching, and we can all really benefit from great ideas about teaching. But what are some things that are specifically going to be there for example, for our adjunct faculty?
Well, we'll have a room led by Adjunct Academy, and it's going to have adjunct faculty presenters talking about the things that they've learned over the past year and how to engage with their students in innovative ways. And so they will be presenting about kind of tips and tricks from adjunct to adjunct.
And similarly for leadership?
Yes, we also will have some instructional leaders presenting on things like the House Bill 8 and also the Ideas Studio and all of those things as well.
Whether I'm in meetings with my department or at this conference in Baylor or discussing things with my faculty or with other leaders, there is a lot of concern about House Bill 8 and the future funding model, as well as SB 17 and DEI. And I imagine a lot of that will be in the room in discussion on Friday as well. Are there other things happening around the college right now that are sort of hot topics that faculty might want to discuss or attend workshops on Friday? Something like AI or dual credit, anything like that you can think of?
We're going to have several faculty from different disciplines, from ESL to interior design to history, presenting about their virtual reality classrooms. And I think that's a really kind of new up and coming thing that people are getting excited about. But also thinking about, in this new education sphere, how do we do things like group work in an online asynchronous class? That's something that I think many of us struggle with. So those of us here at HCC that think they've got how to do it right are going to lend us their ear.
Well, this sounds like a wonderful opportunity for faculty to come together and cultivate those connections. Thank you, Laura. Thank you for telling us all about this event. I hope we see you there on Friday.
I will be there, and I hope to see so many faculty come and enjoy and make the connections, because we know it makes us better as instructors, but also just feel better in general.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Back to you, Todd.
Right. Thank you both. Thanks, Nick. Thanks, Laura. Good seeing you. It's Mental Health Monday, and we've got a recurring guest joining us right now is Sarah Gish, an artist and creator of Ignite Your Life. And Sarah, I've always heard that if you have a pet, there's a chance you could live longer. Is it true or not? Pet therapy helps us with our mental health?
It is definitely true. Pets are wonderful. As you and I talked about, we both have dogs, which we'll get to in a minute, the contest. But yeah, pets are great for so many things. And when I was researching this, I was kind of blown away. There's the obvious thing for companionship, exercise with dogs. You actually can walk cats too. I don't know if you knew that, but you can put cats on a little leash. They won't be as active as dogs on a walk. But dogs are man's best friends, or cats. They love us unconditionally. And we are hardwired to be needed. And so our pets need us, which is a really important thing. It makes us feel like we're being of service to something outside of ourselves. And two hormones, it elevates your mood, which increases the amount of oxytocin that you have, and it helps you with stress. So it decreases the amount of cortisol that gets released. So even if you just look at your dog or cat or whatever animal, maybe you have a giraffe as a pet. No, I'm just kidding. You need a big room for that. But even if you just look at them in the eye, just eye contact actually increases and decreases those two hormones. So it's pretty amazing how much they help us. So.
Well, I've always, I don't know, are you a dog or a cat person? Obviously you have dogs, but you mentioned cats could be good for mental therapy as well. But where you stand on the debate of dogs versus cats?
Okay, this is my funny thing to say. Dogs are paws down the best.
There you go.
No, but actually it's interesting because I was thinking about that, and I, love to watch those, comedians talk about cats versus dogs. And, generally dog people are loved more by gregarious people, because if you think about dogs, they jump at the door, they greet you, they are excited, they wag, they all that crazy stuff. And then cats are kind of like, yeah, you're here, whatever, I can take you or leave you. Where's my food? But they say that in research that cat owners talk about how cats reduce anxiety and just kind of stress and isolation. And dog owners overall say that it increases their activity level. So it's also different needs that we have as humans, and also it's your personality. I know a lot of people that just get stressed out by coming over to my house, period, with the dogs bounding around, because dogs they take a lot of space, not physically, but just kind of emotionally. Because they're always there, always need to be needed. Right now, my dogs are locked up in the bedroom because they wouldn't be able to just be still, and they bark, and so it just really depends on your personality too. So.
Yeah, we're in a temporary situation right now with my house, and we're living in an apartment, and then we have 3 little dogs running around there. So obviously, 5 living beings. Oh yeah, and I got an iguana too as well. So, all that causes a lot of stress at times, but then again, I guess what helps a lot are getting them and taking them out and walking them a lot. And I imagine that's an important point to keep in mind, because that keeps me mentally sane when I get the dogs out for a walk, but it also helps the animal as well.
Well, yes, and it's great for routine too. I forgot to mention that, because for people with depression or anxiety, having a routine where every morning you feed the dog or cat, that kind of thing is really good too. It's also, like you said, living in an apartment, or if you travel a lot, it's better to have a cat. You got to think about these things about who can care for your pet when you're gone. And also, you mentioned the iguana. Those kinds of pets are great, but they're not touching pets.
Right.
The hormones are released or decreased when you touch your animal. So, yeah. And there was something else I was going to say about dogs or cats. I can't remember, but it's just a good thing to remember. All those commitments that you have, and if you travel, that it's just easier to have cats. So.
Talk about the importance of finding a good vet, and then also being responsible in microchipping your pet.
Oh, yes. Well, microchip. So first of all, vets are expensive, so you can do pet insurance. And it's important to find a vet that kind of aligns with the way you care for your dog. I have a great vet, and actually the two vets I've had are A&M graduates, and so they're both very nonplussed by things that happen. We brought our dog in when he ate a whole plate of brownies, and the vet said, "Oh, are they good?" What a bummer, they didn't get all your brownies. And I'm like freaking out, thinking my dog is going to die. So it's good to have one that's very experienced and also just calm, because our animals can't talk to us, so
Right.
we don't necessarily know. And then microchipping, it was important for me to learn about that, because it doesn't track your animal, but it does, let you know where that the animal is yours. And so once you microchip, you definitely have to register it, and it's smaller than a piece of rice when you microchip, so it's a good thing to do.
I guess one final thing to mention as well is, unfortunately, over the years, I've had to make a decision to euthanize 2 of my dogs, because it was the end of their life, but very stressful on yourself. But I imagine, talk about that a bit, because there comes a time. One of the things I found fascinating was when I took my last dog. I had a poodle named Peter Frampton. We took him. It was his time, and he was such a great dog. But the vet told me something was real important, because he'd been sick for months. They said, they will live to be near you, and you have to make that decision that it's time for them to move on, because if you leave it up to the animal is going to literally stay, whether they're in pain or not, they're going to continue persevering for their human.
That's so true. And we just had to trust our vet on the last dog that we had to put down, because Princess, our dog's name, she seemed very active and went on a walk right before the vet said she had to go down. And our vet just counseled us and said, look, kind of like what you were saying, but also that she could see that it was going to get worse and worse and worse for the dog. And we just had to completely trust our vet. And that was a really hard thing. But what we did was, we had our kids there. We pulled them out of school. We were all there surrounding her. And it was really a beautiful experience. So I think if you can be with your pet when they pass,
Yes.
That's obviously. And then also just to kind of have some sort of ceremony or acknowledgement of the passing of your pet, and to take it seriously. I think a lot of us feel, this is just an animal, it's just a dog or a cat or whatever, and I shouldn't be grieving this much, but it's devastating for us, for a lot of people. And people that don't have pets have a hard time understanding that, that we need some time. And when I see so many things flash across Facebook, funerals and this and that. And then when I see the pet ones, it just breaks me up, because how important that is. And it's okay if people don't have pets and don't understand, but just give us a break if we are we can't get up off the floor because our, pet passed away. So
Right.
for sure.
Sarah, Ignite Your Life. Tell us, you got events coming up in the next week?
Actually, I'm going to throw in one thing really quick, that since you love dogs, video, everybody needs to Google Olive and Mabel dogs. Okay. Zoom meetings, because it is hilarious. I just want to mention that. Yeah, they're very funny. It's this Irish guy who does Zoom meetings with his dogs. Named Olive and Mabel. So upcoming events, I've got a labyrinth walk in conjunction with Compassion Week, which is put on by Compassion in Houston, and Compassion Week is November 13th through 19th. And there'll be a labyrinth walk on November 16th as part of that, 7 to 8 p.m. at University of St. Thomas. And then also December 5th, whatever that first Tuesday is, from 7 to 8 p.m. I do monthly labyrinth walks for the public. So I love doing that. It's a great way to calm down, especially in these times. So.
Well, Sarah, we're going to have all your information in our social media posts after the show. Always great seeing you. And we'll see you again next month.
Great to see you. Oh,
Take care, Sarah. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we've got some announcements to make, Nick. One of them, we've got a Southeast blood drive. HCC Office of Student Life at Southeast College is hosting a blood drive next week, and donors will receive a free Space City t-shirt. So check that out. It's 10:30 to 3 p.m. Monday, October 16th. That was today at the Fraga campus main academic building conference room. So check it out. Head on out there. Give the gift of life. We've also got an event coming up for Domestic Violence Awareness Month, Nick.
Yeah, that's right. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, but HCC Coleman is asking everyone to stop by and sign a banner as a pledge to stop the silence. That's going to be tomorrow, October 17th, Tuesday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the HCC Coleman College Atrium. Check our post after the show for more information, and if you can, stop by and sign the pledge.
Okay, recipes for success, student life tips. Several virtual workshops are coming up to assist students in improving skills or studying needs to lead to the grades they want. Coming up, Mastering Balance, 4 p.m. Wednesday, October the 18th. It's a Teams meeting. You can check it out, and all you have to do is check our information out in our post after the show. And there's also a faculty exhibition happening through November the 3rd.
Yes, Todd, that's right. Our HCC arts faculty continue to have faculty exhibitions around the college. This particular exhibition, called Converging Ground Level, is at the Northeast College North Line Gallery. This is open free to everybody until November 3rd, and it features paintings, drawings, and mixed media digital artwork by HCC faculty member Elizabeth Depew. And this is one of several faculty exhibitions now open around the HCC system.
Okay, there is an important event coming up at the West Houston Institute next month. In November, HCC will host the 2023 Gulf Coast Region Apprenticeship Summit. It's happening at the West Houston Institute this year. It's said to be where exceptional talent and business growth converge. Check out the summit if you want to check it out. We'll have some information in our post after the show. It is November 13th through the 15th. And also, Nick, I think spring registration is underway, but if you want to get some classes in before the end of the semester, your choices are limited right now.
Yeah, that's right, Todd. Spring registration opened today, I believe. I think we had priority registration last Monday, but it's open now to general enrollment. The first session of the spring semester is our winter mini in December, so you can definitely get into those classes before they fill up. As far as the fall semester goes, though, it's largely underway. I think that fall semester enrollment is closed now. There might be some stray 4 or 5 week sessions later in the fall, but check the catalog for that. We have classes online anytime, online on a schedule, in person. We have labs. We have hybrid in-person classes and hybrid labs as well. To learn more about HCC programs, start dates, and options to cover your costs, go to hccs.edu/apply.
Okay, tomorrow on the show, it's Tasty Tuesday, and we'll welcome back Musafir, the fine dining restaurant that offers 29 regions of India and its spice routes. That sounds great. Also, it's advising week. We'll have more on that throughout the week with our guests on the show. Nick, always good to see you. Thanks for being here on this Monday.
Thank you. I'll see you next time.
All right. And we'll see all of you tomorrow morning live, 10 a.m. for Up to the Minute.